What do you reckon it read? It said the guy you love is dead. I got a letter this morning. What do you reckon it read? Well, it said, hurry, hurry, 'cause the guy you love is dead. Well, I packed up my suitcase and I took on down the road. When I got there, she was laying on the cooling board. Packed up my suitcase and I took off down the road. When I got there, she was laying on the cooling board. What's up? Mexican Spec didn't know this was Cold War Motors. Yeah, I've heard he also does his own stunts. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Oh, wait, hold on. This is wrong. Do not adjust your TV set. They figured it out this week. This was supposed to be here the whole time. Now, like, half the screen is icons, and it's really goofy. A little bit of slide blues for you there. Howdy, Kelly Smith. How's it going? C-Store Rye, I believe. Hello. No Beret is here and ready to be professionally entertained. Well, I hope I don't let you down. Oh, Colleen Tebow is sent over from Functional Histories Live. What? Oh, crap! I forgot all about that. Man, I was going to stop by over there, but I ended up doing mail trucks all day. I didn't finish till like 35 minutes ago, so I just completely forgot. So my apologies to Functional Histories for being bad at things. Howdy, Bell James. Lovejoy. Old Stuff Rules. My mom, who is grabbing a cider. My sister. Hello, sister. Hold on. Mexican Spec. Hi, Jamie. May I call you Jamie? Sure. Howdy, Dan. John M. Jonathan Jesh. The Jesh brothers checking in. Howdy, howdy. How's it going? Mark King here as well. Good evening, Mark King. Super Satellite Garage. Hello. I was just messaging Super Satellite Garage on Instagram. Something about expansion plugs rusted to pieces. We're not allowed to call them freeze plugs. Anyway. Glenn Uromi is here. Hey, Jamie. Good to see you, man. I really liked the Trail Duster Ram Charger videos this week. I've owned 3 Ram Chargers, and I regret selling all of them. Yeah, they're awesome trucks. I like them. You know, I like the pickups more. The short bed W100s, 150s. Those are my favorites. Same wheelbase as that, but it's a little truck. The back seat's cool, I guess. Gonna be busy tonight. Well, there's 72 people at 6 minutes, so yeah, I'm thinking you're probably right. Yes, I will go over and watch the replay of his live later. Hey, I do want to let you guys know, obviously, judging by the number of people that are already here. Oh, and on that note as well, please hit like on the stream because it does stuff for the thing with the deal. I'm probably going to start jumping around the comments a little bit more. And the reason for that is last week when my live stream was invaded, I didn't know about it for like 25 minutes. I didn't know that people were saying my glasses were crooked and that I'm a poor excuse for an Uncle Tony ripoff. Missed all of that. So I'm going to make a concerted effort to be more in the now times with the comments. And I'm sure it's going to be impossible. So if I miss your comment, I apologize. I'm going to try and get, big comments, questions, that sort of thing. But I'm probably not going to hit every single comment moving forward. Thank you, George. Damn, that's good. Nice. Bell James is proud to be an Okie 50 miles from Muskogee. Buongiorno, Stacy. How is it going? Chris Freemaster. John M. Standard tuning. Yeah, slide open G slide tuning. And the other one I use is open G, but I tune the low E down to a super, super low G. And it doesn't... I actually just took it out of that this week. Last week, that's what I was playing in. I used to be in a two-piece band called Evan and the Big Bass Drum. I was neither Evan nor the Big Bass Drum. I played guitar, primarily slide, and that was what I did to kind of fill in where the bass was supposed to be. I tuned that low string way, way down, and worked pretty well, except that it's always out of tune. Standing O. Thank you very much. Howdy, Tony Sears. Cameron Powell. Just jamming. David Bisnet is here. Hey, Jamie, replace the thumb wheel switch. Got dash lights now, which is great. Replace the voltage limiter. Still gauges don't work. Checked with the 6-volt battery and the needles move. Is your gauge fuse any good? There's a fuse that feeds that thing. Make sure there's actually power getting to that limiter. McLovin. Hey, Jamie. Is it already Sunday night? The weekend's almost over? Can't be. Alas, it is. I'm not excited either. Although tomorrow I'm going to dive back into building a go-kart. Howdy, Scarlet. How's it going? Scarlet, the four-eyed Cuda. Are things blurry? I hope things are not blurry. If they are, sorry. Good evening, John Donati. Oh, thank you, Bell James. Yes, I hit 22,000 subscribers yesterday, which is just crazy. Just crazy. Flake of the Skinny Kid is back from North Central PA. I halved out of the cider this week. Halved out of? I don't know what that means. Anyway, thanks for joining us. And CC777, hello. Nick Name is here from Australia. Good day, Jamie. Thanks for the great content. Thank you very much, Nick. Appreciate that. And Patrick Kelly's here from Oklahoma. My question is, would it be worth it to upgrade my 440 factory valve train to iron ductile rockers? I mean, if you're living at super high RPM, maybe. Usually, they're fine. Who would do such a thing? Oh my God. Yeah, I didn't notice any of the troll comments until way after it happened. And then, of course, I went and watched Tony's live, where he was watching my live, and then I commented on his live during, it was all very meta. Anyway, it's hilarious. Good times. And I had no idea. Such a sad state of affairs. Bill Johnson is back and says, hey, Jamie, how's things? Question. Any idea which replacement socket fits late B-body reverse lights? I have the turn brake stop lights figured. Late B, those ones are probably crimped into the housing, right? So what I do, instead of trying to like take the crimp out and replace the whole stupid thing, is I replace the spring plate in there, and you can get those in dual contact and single contact. Dorman makes them. Yeah, you can get them. They're in stock at my local O'Reilly, so I'm sure you can find them somewhere. And then you just cut the wires, pull the plates out, new spring plate contact goes in, works great. But if yours is the removable type, Dorman has those too. They're pretty generic. Tom didn't break the wiper arms. It has stupid wiper blades on it, and he was trying to put refills in them, and those are what broke. So, yeah. There you go. David James says, ABS2, any 440 trick, 650 CFM. I mean, there are a few basic checks to do. Make sure you've got the right springs. I mean, if this is a stock 440, it's probably fine. It's probably got plenty of vacuum. I like to tighten up the adjustment on the flapper just a little bit. Doesn't take much. And then, you could do some plug chops and try and do some needle tuning, or you can judge by ear, seat of the pants, etc. There's not much to it. I mean, those are pretty good right out of the box. Oh, Lane Mendenhall, thank you very much. Sent me $4.99. What is your favorite instrument that you own? Mine is my PRS single cut. It's in a case over there. God, that's tough. I've got a lot of favorite instruments. My favorite acoustic is my 1966 Harmony Sovereign. My favorite guitar is kind of a tie between my SG Faded, which is nothing special, and my Epiphone, Korean-made Epiphone Les Paul. Love both of those. My favorite bass is my Epiphone T-Bird. It's just awesome. Love it. Sounds amazing. Favorite of all of those. If I could only have one, it would be the SG. So I guess that's the answer. And again, it's a cheap one. It's not like, yeah, it says Gibson on it, but it's the cheapest one they make, basically. So yeah, I've had that. It was made in 06, so it's almost vintage now. And I've had it for, I got it in 2010, sold it, got it back. So I've had it for a while. The other DDG, Dust Devil Garage, is back and says, congrats on your success. You know you made it when you can't read all the comments. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. Oh, Flaco has stayed out of the cider this week, so we'll hang out. Nice. Gary Herger, can't believe we didn't get stuck in the field. I knew we were going to be fine. Tom keeps saying, you know, he buried my third-gen Cummins out there when it was his. Well, yeah, it's Cummins. Don't drive that in the soggy field. That's just a bad idea. Oh, Brent Forte woke up Saturday to a busted pipe in the basement, and it looked like a swimming pool. That sounds horrible. And then I watched your video. It was all rain and waterfalls. It always is. Sweet Trail Duster really liked the longer videos. Awesome. Thank you. Yes, I thought that was really cool. Oh, okay. No, I don't know about 440 Source's iron ductile rockers. The only ones I've seen, okay, yeah. The Mopar, that's what I thought you meant, was the factory adjustable iron ones. Yeah, I'm sure it's a good upgrade. The sheet metal ones, or the stamped steel ones are not amazing, and they can break. So yeah, I'm sure it's a good idea. But I wasn't aware they were reproducing them, so that's cool. The only 440 Source rockers I know about are those aluminum ones. Oh, Glenn also had an 83 Dodge short bed 4x4 4-speed. Yep, great trucks. I love those trucks. Less than half of the current viewers have clicked the like button. Well, there's 112 of them out there now, so if you haven't hit the like, you should do that stuff, thing, deal, that whole deal. Ooh, let's see. How many likes we got? Oh, stop. Yeah, 53. You're right. That's rookie numbers. We've got to pump those numbers up. Nice. Yeah, I saw that. Tony just happened to drop into my live and turn the sound up right when I was talking about him, because someone mentioned they like the what was it? The whatever. I don't know what they said. I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, it was cool. Yeah. The best practical jokes involve the victim being clueless. Well, yeah, you're not wrong. Mark King saw a great video of a Slant pumping out 280 horsepower in Australia. I assume that was the one with the side drafts on it. Really cool. Howdy, Michael Adamo. Haven't seen you around here in a while. Thanks for joining us. Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Main body is rusted. Contact replacement won't work. They are cramped. Yeah. Yeah. I assume they're available somewhere, but I don't know. I don't know for sure at all. Howdy, Cave Dave. How's it going? Oh, Lane. Yeah, SGs are some of my favorites. Yes, I really like the Les Paul. My Epiphone, Korean-built Epiphone Les Paul is a fantastic instrument. The factory electronics are garbage. Okay, so I fixed that. But the Les Paul is amazing. And it's funny, Bill Johnson says, SG, Les Paul all the way. Almost bought a real one years ago. Couldn't afford it. But yeah, so the Korean Epiphone, I had 3 of them. And they use great woods. They're really nice. Oh, John M. had a lawsuit Gibson Les Paul clone. See, these Korean-built Les Pauls are kind of in the same neighborhood as those. They're nicely built. They're cheap. The electrics are garbage, but the woods, the construction, pretty decent. And yeah, I've got it's early, maybe mid 90s, I think, Korean Epiphone. And it's a great guitar. Love that. Love the sound. But even that one is damn heavy. And when I was gigging all the time, it was just murdering my shoulder. So I switched to the SG, and yeah, it's become my go-to. But I do prefer the thick tone of the Les Paul. Monk from Philly says, Jamie, you've touched on the Chrysler 4.5 pin ignition modules recently. Are cheap versus OEM reliability? Cheap or garbage? Don't bother. Buy a good one, and even the good ones kind of suck. We tried 2 crappy chrome replacements, older chrome replacements on that Trail Duster, and the 2 it came with. And then we put an ancient black box in it, and it ran perfect. So, yeah, you do not want those cheap. Yeah, at least buy a standard brand or something. And even those, like, I don't know. The high rev boxes might be better. That's what was on that 67, and it seemed to work. But the high rev distributor was total garbage. So I don't know. I'm not ready to say those guys are awesome. Stacy Renner said, Brawler on the 67 Charger. Was it brand new? Yes. Not the first brand new one I've seen that had issues right out of the box. Yeah. Yeah. Man, that thing was such a nightmare. I don't even know what happened. Good evening, mechanics. Thanks for dropping in. Oh, yeah, Tony's busy making cookies that he's not going to share with us. Mikey Strip Thread says, that's what happens when you collab with a god. Nice. Yes, Kathy's probably the one making the cookies you won't share. Dust Devil Garage misses his T-Bird. Need to take a break spending money on my duster so I can buy another one. Dude, I bought this one at a yard sale from my friend Brett. He had the coolest yard sale ever. Musical instruments and comic book collectibles. Like, just awesome. Yeah, so I bought that. I almost bought an acoustic bass, but I couldn't do it. But yeah, the Epiphone, I don't need an instrument that says Gibson on it, you know, especially for the amount that I play. So yeah, thing's awesome. Speed and Demon, what is up? Jonathan Jesh had a 91 Dodge Cummins. Managed to break his front left leaves in half just from normal driving. Ugh. Well, the Cummins is hard on front end parts. So there's that. Chemistry, Mopar bromance. That was it. Yeah, bromance was the word. Yes. Couldn't remember it. Oh, Tony should be. Yeah, I think Tony's going live now. So, Clean Tebow, scroll back up to the heart comment. I think I saw it. Did I not read it? I'm scrolling back up. I'm still scrolling. Yeah. I don't know. No idea. Not sure. Hopefully I read it. Yeah. All your troll comments went unseen for a while. Are you still working on the 67 Charger? Very cool car. Yes, it's awesome. But no, it came in it was supposed to be like a half-day project, you know. He sent a video of it running, and it sounded pretty good just sitting there idling. But man, when you tried to move it, it was just horrible. And you saw that in the video. Listening to him unload it from the trailer was a very painful experience. And several more experienced mechanics who've been doing this for decades said, man, I knew it was cam timing as soon as I heard it. Well, now I know, you know, this is a learning experience. So here we are. Yeah, Tony, Tony's family was making cookies. He should be on now. So now we're in a head-to-head live stream battle, probably. If you guys are hopping over to Tony's, tell him I said, mail me some cookies. Sorry, I have to chew. This is terrible. Richard Stanberry wants to know, will a subframe and rear end out of a Cordoba bolt right up to a 71-74 Charger? Not 71 and 2. 73 through 79B should essentially be the same and interchangeable. Small block and big block K-frames are different. But yes, it will bolt into the car. Shouldn't be a problem. As far as I know, I've got a 79 and a 74 here. 73? 73. And I've looked at both of them, and they look very, very similar. So as far as I know, they're exactly the same. Late B. But 71 and 2 are still the older architecture. So it will not bolt into those. Michael Adamo has been checking in. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Patrick Kelly, could you do an episode on selecting pistons for rebuilds? I think you asked this question in a comment on a video. And the thing is, I'm not really the guy for that. The other thing is, usually for most of the builds I'm doing, there's like one piston available. I use what I can get. I use what the machine shop will order for me, what they recommend. I am not some performance engine building guru. I throw together stock or slightly warmed over stock stuff. I throw darts, and it's worked out for me pretty well so far. But I can't see myself doing that anytime soon. Gotcha. Oh, yeah, on those sockets. Supposedly correct reverse sockets were larger. Well, that's inconvenient. And this is, I think, the third time I've been asked about FBO in the last couple days. No, I've never tried FBO. They are proud of their stuff. I heard a couple things about them some time back. I wasn't super enthused about, but I've never tested it, so I don't know. I've heard it's good. Lots of people swear by them. You see them in cars all the time, but I haven't tried one. I don't want to spend $400 on an ignition box that doesn't say MSD on it. I don't want to spend $400 on an MSD either. Super Satellite Garage asked, your thoughts on Pertronics? I've had decent luck with them. I've seen a few dead ones, but I've had okay luck. I've got one in my 79 Chrysler 300 right now. It works great. Very happy with that. I've got another small block Pertronics complete distributor that I'll be using in something. But, you know, as I understand, the modules have a habit of dying, and it's really inconvenient when that happens. So, yeah. I like them, but nothing's 100%. There is no 100%. I recommend the HEI, like a good quality HEI module. They're garbage too. So I don't know the answer to this. MSD, I guess, costs a lot of money. No. There is a small independently constructed ignition system I'm going to be doing some testing with coming up. It's set up basically to drop in place of a Mopar box, and it looks like a really cool setup. Haven't gotten to try it yet, but that will be coming up. Kelly Smith says, tell us about your trip to California in your 66 Charger and almost getting arrested. All right, so the year was September 2016, the year my daughter was born. She was, I have to do math now, 5 months old. So we always do our road trips. We haven't done this so much now that our daughter's in school, but we used to always do our road trips in April around the time of our anniversary and September around the time of my wife's birthday, with little weekend trips and sometimes a trip for my birthday in June, sprinkled over the summer. But we'd always hit those like perfect just off-season times. So September 2016, we decided to, my wife wanted to go to Fort Bragg and see the beach there, Fort Bragg, California, the glass beach. There's glass everywhere on the beach, which is cool. So we did that. So we're in the 66 Charger. My wife and I, our daughter, who was 5 months old, and my friend Drew, who was in my band. We were in the 66. It was awesome. Do we have a dog? I think our dog Basil, the little dog, came with us. I don't think Charlie did. Anyway, I don't think so. Anyway, so loaded everybody up, camping stuff in the trunk of the Charger, and drove to California. It was really cool. We camped in Oregon 2 nights, I think. And then we should have turned home, but instead we kept going to Fort Bragg to see the beach and then cannonballed home. In Fort Bragg on Highway 1, or is that 101? Can't remember. There was a parade. This is like one of 3 times I've been stuck behind parade traffic on 101 or 1, whichever one that is. And there was traffic backed way up, and my brother's car was dying, and we were just sitting there, and we decided to try and just turn around and go back to the beach approach we saw. My brother turns around in the middle of the road in his 68 Dart. We were driving together, 66 Charger, 68 Dart. His Dart was an absolute piece of garbage. It died turning around. I'm in a B-body. I had swung into, I signaled that I was doing it, and I pulled into the shoulder to turn around. Right behind him, right? 2 crappy old cars, obviously driving together, obviously turning around. His stalled in the middle of the road. Well, while he is here, I'm here, and he's trying to get his car restarted, and all the cars behind us just start filling in. Car, city bus, car, ambulance. And I was upset. I'm signaling, I'm waving my hand out the window, like, hello, I'm trying to follow that guy. Hello, excuse me. And all these people just kept pulling in. So I was irritated and I allegedly yelled some obscenities, some really bad obscenities, because off camera, I swear a lot. And then in my big block Charger, in the shoulder, next to all this parade traffic, I just floored it. And then I got off it and I floored it again like 3 times and went all the way down to the next intersection. I like half drifted around and just ripped it back past all these people. Just really irritated. It was dumb. No one's paying attention. An ambulance cut me off and blocked me. Anyway, so we go to the beach. And we're hanging out at the beach for like an hour. We really need to go home because it's like a 12-hour drive and Drew's got to get to work in the morning. So we leave the beach and we walk back to our cars. And when I get to my car, there are a couple police officers standing around it. And one of them says, "Is this your car?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "I heard you called an ambulance driver a mother effer." Lucky for me, I look really non-threatening holding a baby on my shoulder. And I said, I didn't call him that. I said that in the vicinity of him, but I did not say it to anyone specifically. And he said, because that counts as assault in the state of California. You can't say that. I've known that ambulance driver for 10 years. He wouldn't lie. And I explained the situation again, and I was really frustrated at the time, and yada, yada, yada. And basically, they gave me the stink eye and let me go. But I got a real, like, get out of my town, kid kind of vibe. And I swear they were, like, watching us leave town. It was good times. I think I've actually told that story before a couple times. But, yeah, it turns out certain profanity is illegal in California. And that is why I say California is not America. There are other reasons too, but yeah. Yum. We left Fort Bragg, drove over a mountain to get back to I-5, and my brother's car, which, as mentioned, was a total piece of garbage. Still is. It's under a tree right now, I think. It like was overheating or cutting out or something going up this hill. So yeah, I've got pictures of our cars on the side of the road with the hoods up because I had a big block Charger and it was 100 degrees almost, and going up this mountain, everything was fine until I stopped and then heat soak happened. But yeah, it was a cool trip. Good times. Good times. I haven't done any old car road trips in a really long time. We used to do trips in our wagon too. Haven't done that. I'd like to do a big road trip in my 68 Charger. I'd really like to do like a camping trip, you know. I think it would be cool. You know, they're cars. Use them as cars. Scarlet the Four-Eyed Cuda says the FBO, 4 seconds flat. Chrysler ignition boxes are very good. Not cheap. Electronics are made in Florida. Machined aluminum boxes out of Oregon. Good stuff. 5-year warranty. Yes, I was just reviewing their site again yesterday. I saw it said 5-year warranty on all parts, which is awesome. That's really cool. But yeah, they are expensive. So yeah, maybe if they want to sponsor me, I'll test one. Or if one of my customers buys one, I'll get an opportunity to do that. I like the adjustable rev limiter. That's great. Paul Steinberg says, if you're interested in Mopar-themed movies, watch 65 to 66 Fireball 500 with Frankie Avalon, driving a George Barris custom 65 Barracuda and racing one of the turbine cars. That's cool. Very cool. Fireball 500. Fireball 500. 1966 film. Yep. Rad. Okay. I'll try to remember that. We haven't really, I mentioned this before. My wife and I went on a big, long car movie kick, classic car movie kick, and then we just kind of stopped. 142 of you out there. If you would, please hit like on the streamy thingy. That would be great. And, I don't know, ask your questions, I guess. On today's episode, I'm going to try to be less than 15 minutes behind all the time. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, hello. You bet, Nick Dirkets. When is the Holly 1945 live chat rebuild? Okay, bye. That ain't happening. Did you tell me about this, Dan? The Barracuda from Fireball 500 was running and driving back in the mid-90s. Hey. Okay. Lives near Eugene, Oregon. I feel like you mentioned that. Howdy, y'all here. How's it going? Functional Histories is here. I ended up doing mail trucks today. I completely forgot about that. And I didn't finish until about 5:30 my time. Completely spaced your live stream. So I apologize. But yeah, it happened. Old Iron BNSF says, can't stay, but for the record, I was here. Old Iron, good to see you. See you later. Have no fear, the Dougster is here. I don't know if he's still here because Tony's live now. Wow. Huh. Gary Herger says, friend of mine traded the Fireball 500 Barracuda for 2 Superbirds. Wow. Wow. Frank Lee speaking is here and says, hello, my 1990 Dodge Ram van, 5.2, that'd be TBI, appears to have either a bad fuel pump or plugged fuel filter. Can you give me some guidance? Well, question 1, why do you think that's the problem? Is it because you're not getting fuel down the throttle body? Because that's a little more likely to be an electronic control problem. Plugged fuel filters almost never happen. They do, but usually there are signs before it gets to the, hey, it just doesn't run state of things. If you hear the pump running and priming in the back, it's probably fine. I've seen distributor failures on those. Computer failures are very, very common on those Ram vans. The computer, and I assume it's because the computer's right there in the drip line. Similar problem on Dakotas from that time, though. So yeah, it could be a PCM. I doubt it's actually a clogged filter. And if you hear the pump running, then the pump is probably fine. If you don't hear the pump priming, again, it could be a computer failure. And so you might want to try and prime the pump manually. On those, the pump and the whole fuel system and the coil are powered by the ASD relay. So the ASD relay can be powered up under the hood. It's on the firewall. It's a big metal relay in those years. It's kind of right by the brake booster, I guess. You could power that up, bridge it, whatever, make sure the pump comes on. There are different ways you can test that. But yeah, I would not think... clogged filter. Grumman Mail Trucks, Tulsa, yes, the LLV. I service a fleet of 19 of them, plus a Chevy van, plus they have 2 stupid Mercedes vans now. Yeah, that's one of my 3.5, 4 jobs. Usually 5 Sundays a year, 5 or 6 Sundays a year, I service mail trucks, and then I fix them whenever they break down. I do it right here in my home shop. Used to do it at a real shop, but when we closed that, I moved that operation here. Works way better with no other customers like hounding you. Stephen Andrews, I was wondering that too. What are the differences in B-body K-member subframes from 62 to 79? Okay, so 62 to 65 are one setup, and they're goofy. The mounts are special. They use a 2-bolt mount. Is that both sides or is that one side? Don't remember. But those early B ones are goofy. Then there's, and I believe that's through 65. I know it's 62 to 4. And 62 might be even goofier. Am I remembering that correctly? Don't know. But there's that early setup. And then you've got 66 to 70. Those cars are all essentially the same. Same K-frame, same control arms, same everything. 71 and 2 are essentially the same as far as the suspension goes as well. So I believe that K-frame is technically 66 to 72, and the suspension is essentially exactly the same. Now, there are Slant 6 K-frames, there are V8 small block and big block K-frames, and there are Hemi K-frames. And there are also 6-pack K-frames with the extra skid plate thingy on the bottom, but they're functionally equivalent to the standard V8 K. If I'm remembering this correctly, you can put the later K-frame in the earlier B-body bolts right up to 72 into those early B-bodies, and I think it sets the engine back slightly. But I don't. Again, I've never done it. It's just something I seem to recall reading. 73, everything got weird. 73, they went to the isolated K member. So the totally different subframe setup is mounted to 4 bushings, rubber bushings with through bolts. And then, the suspension mounts off of that. The entire suspension, in fact. The upper arm mounts are on like these pedestals, and you have to take them off to drop the K-frame out, which is really, really annoying. But they do all mount to that K-frame. So yeah, it's a funky setup. Those also use a longer torsion bar. The original cross member is still in place, but it's got holes through it that goes back to a second bolted in cross member. And that's what the torsion bar is mounted. And it is also rubber isolated. The idea was to cut down NVH, noise, vibration, harshness, isolate the body of the car from the suspension and drivetrain much more effectively. Apparently it worked. Don't know. I've never done a ton of seat time in a late B body, but I've heard they are quite nice. I've also heard they don't handle like the earlier cars. But the 73 and up setup, 73 to 79 late B, and I think the R, does the R body continue to use that, or does the R body use the other style torsion bars? Don't know anything about those. But the late B setup, 73 to 9. I was going to say something else about it. Don't remember what it was. But anyway, they are special. So there you go. It's basically those 3 generations. Oh, and on 73 to 79, small block, big block are different. They are different. I don't think is there a Slant 6.1? I don't think so. I think it's just small block V8, big block V8. So there you go. Dougster says, Slant Daily Garage says the FBO plate doesn't like lots of highway driving. Good to know. I don't know anything about it again. I'm sure there are people like Slant Daily Garage who have actually tested these units. The orange box is fine. I'd say that's a good one. So, yeah, I've had good orange boxes. I've had dead orange boxes. I have at least one for a display piece now. So, they're supposed to be better, higher PM, whatever. I don't know. Blue boxes, chrome boxes, orange boxes, black boxes. There are too many boxes. Brent Forte says, it was so crazy watching you work on that charger. I knew it was the timing chain. You're dead on why it happens. Yep. The engine was broken in that way. Wow, you saved it. Yes. And again, and a good few commenters, and I'm not calling them liars. They said, I knew it was the timing chain right away. I've never seen it before. Never. So yeah, it was really interesting. And it's funny because when that happened, I just happened to have been looking at the Studebaker thinking that may be the issue there, only to find out it was the timing mark off by 10 degrees. So yeah, good times. So yeah, just happened to get that information right when I needed it. Ross, yes, a 400K frame from a Cordova will work in 73 up, any 73 up B bodies, as far as I know. As far as I can see of those suspensions, they are exactly the same. They may not be exactly the same. But as far as I can see, they are, as far as I know. Oh, the other thing I was going to say about that when my brain farted was that setup is essentially the same as C body. It's comparable to a C body setup from that time anyway, which is basically a GM. Pretty much. Yo, we'll see. How's it going? Sir Swerve got a used MSD6A off eBay for $90. Been working for a month now. Nice. Left my orange box in the truck. Yeah, just in case you need it. That is a good idea. My little dog wasn't named Quiche. He was named Basil. Yeah. Oh, Cordova to 734. Yes. Silly rubber isolator BS. Well, no, that's what. Yeah, they kept it to the end of the B. So Cordovas have a 2. Yep. How's it going, Jeremy Wilson? Greg Ryan. Welcome to California. Yep. Oh, yeah, I'm a gangster. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's another universe. Yeah. My brother doesn't curse. I'm the one that curses. He's like a... Oh, yeah. Right. I read that wrong. Yeah, what you said. If I cursed as much as my brother does, I never would have met the police in California. And if it weren't for my horse, I never would have spent that year in college. Should have gone Rambo. Yeah. I live in Washington. There are people who say Washington is, like Northern California or whatever. I totally disagree. At least where I'm at, I've never had a problem with police, with, anything. I mean, I'm cool. They're cool. Like, Yeah. But man, some places are not like that. So, yeah. Hello. I would like to have an argument. I feel like we already did that last week. Yeah, freedom of speech. That's what I thought. But anyway, no news about potentially driving another rocket purchase home yet. If the opportunity arrives, Swerve wants Robert Hill to type faster to start the argument. Nice. Very nice. Well, Speed and Demon, I mean, I just could have handled it better. I mean, yeah. Yep. Could have handled it better. John M wants to know, did you alleviate heat soak in your big block charger? I didn't. I just hold the throttle open every time I hot start it. And it works. Stage 0, Jason dropped in. Did I read your first comment? Your wife has different ideas about Sunday fun activities. Anyway, do a big East Coast, West Coast road trip, and we'll all join you as we can. Dude, that would be so cool. It's the Dead Dodge Garage cross-country cruise. People just join in for little segments of it. I want to do that someday. That'd be awesome. No, I am not driving to Plymouth in a Plymouth. My brother is. I am not. Adam Silos, would you or anyone you know have 67 Cornet wagon parts looking for a rear bumper and back door glass? No. And if you find one, let me know because I'm looking for a front bumper. And I also need a 66 Cornet passenger side headlight surround bezel. They're always smashed. I'm willing to accept one that's dented, but I need one less dented. Patrick Kelly, what is your preferred all-around street occasional cruise gear ratio? 323? 323 is great. You can cruise around. It's awesome. That's what I've got in my Charger. It is perfection. Takes off great with the stock 383. It's awesome. But it cruises nice. You know, it does burnouts. It doesn't feel slow. I almost put 2 9s in it. Glad I didn't. I stuck with the 3 2s. Yeah, that would be my go-to. Just around town, the 410s in my Demon are the most fun I've ever had with pants on. Is that what people keep saying? 410s are great. But yeah, if you're going to cruise this thing, 323s. Functional histories. Did I do a Lewis Black joke? I don't know which one I did, but candy corn. I guess I can't do a Lewis Black voice. I thought I could. Anyway. 323. Perfect. I did put a 5.9 Magnum EFI in that Charger to get rid of the heat soak problem. That car never had a heat soak problem with the big block. It was always the 383 big block, 600 vacuum secondary Holly, and it was flawless. It was so good. The new car, not so much. But yeah, I have made zero effort to deal with it. And I also have a fuel boiling problem in the Demon when it's hot and I'm sitting in the staging lanes for hours. So I need to do something about that as well, and I haven't gotten to it. Sir Swerve wants to know, why do you like Mopars? 1968 Dodge Charger. Oh, yeah. Absolute perfection. The most beautiful car ever conceived, designed, built. Flawed, yes, very much so. I own one. I know that. But absolute magnificence in an automobile. And that is why. It got my attention. And then I got into them. I had a bunch of A-bodies. I loved it. Loved them. I've been living and breathing Mopar ever since. It's been 16 years. It's been 18 years since I first saw that 68 Charger that did it. But I got my first one 16 years ago. Ross says Redline 7000, another 60s race car movie. I haven't seen any. Like, there's that one Elvis was in. I haven't seen any period race movies. I probably should. Crashes Roadrunner Garage. Want to know if anyone has used the Revenator box. I've heard of it. Haven't used it. Never seen one. No. Robert Hill said the Fireball 500 was found in the weeds behind a Toyota dealership in the late 80s. And Functional Histories would trade his left nut for one Superbird. All-time favorite car. I'm a fan. I mean, I think they're cool. But if I was going to have one, it would have to be the Daytona. You know why? Because it's a Charger, and I like Chargers. But the Superbird's cool. The Lively set. I've heard of that one. Haven't seen that either. Pertronics 1 and 2. I'll be honest, I don't even remember what the difference is. No idea. Can't remember. Pertronics 1's the standard one. What does 2 have? I don't remember. And the 3 is the one with a rev limiter, right? I don't remember, and I don't have time to look up the difference. But anyway, no, yes. Oh, apparently Michael Robert Embry says Mancini and Mopar parts. Oh, Mancini has FBOs for 269 for V8s. I saw that they had them listed separately for V8 and Slant, and I have no idea why. It's interesting. It's the same standard box. Joel Shooter dropped in, almost missed it again. Well, I'm glad you made it, Joel. Welcome. Oh, Crash's Roadrunner Garage just subscribed to Functional Histories. If you guys haven't seen Functional Histories, you should hop over and do the subscribey thingy over there. Really cool projects going on. Allegedly, there might be another one with my name coming up. But if you haven't seen the kind of stuff that happens at Functional Histories, here's a good example. Now, don't worry about the hood. I still need to figure out a way to non-destructively open this package and fix the hood. We'll get there eventually. But anyway, this is the corn dog charger that Functional Histories made for me, which is super awesome, and I love it. And I believe we will be doing more collaboration in the future. So yeah, if you haven't checked them out, you should do that. Robert Hill says, riding in a Superbird is scary, let alone driving one, knowing the nose sticks out 2 feet and I can't see it. I've driven a Daytona. I can't say it was scary, but I don't know. I've driven a lot of expensive cars, I guess. That's the wrong way to put that. I've driven a lot of old, delicate, and sometimes expensive cars, and I'm always usually relatively cautious. Anyway, I drove a Daytona. I wasn't scared. I'll drive another one eventually. Can't wait. Bo Ridge says, I have a 66 Fury VIP 318 auto. Occasionally it shifts super hard going into reverse and stalls. Any ideas? That's a weird one. Only in reverse. I'm not qualified for that. I mean, I've had them. Usually they go into gear softly more than banging. I don't know. I got nothing on that one. Stalling going into gear tends to be a torque converter problem. Also, I do have to wonder what your timing is set at. But if it's really banging into gear like that, that is something I've seen in reverse and drive with lockup converters being crappy. Your 66 should not have a lockup transmission unless someone put one in there. I just talked to an owner of an e-body a couple weeks ago that should not have had a lockup, but did. And all these people are trying to diagnose it on the e-body Mopar group. And I dropped in and said, hey, that sounds like you've got a lockup converter and it's bad. And sure as shit, that's what it was. So, yeah. Functional Histories is willing to lose an arm to get a Superbird. If I find anyone willing to pay $250,000 for an arm, I will let you know. Adam Silos, I think, hopefully. 1973 Chrysler Newport. I need a link for new motor mounts. Can't find anywhere. You're only going to be able to buy the isolators, the little the inserty pieces. I just saw those on Mancini, I think. They're available. 73 and up, they standardized to those spool mounts, and that's what you're going to have to get is the isolator. I found them for Donnie. Speaking of which, where's Donnie? Weird. Anyway, they are out there. BCC Photech. Hey, Jamie. PT Jim's back again. I can't look at PT Cruisers the same anymore. I used to look at them with disgust and hatred. And today I saw one with like a custom graphic down the side, parked on the side of the road, and I thought, oh, that would be perfect. It was like blue flames. Good stuff. Functional Histories obviously missed the announcement. I'm not going to read every single comment anymore. I'm going to try and keep up with what's happening. I'm only 14 minutes behind, which is pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to be skimming a little bit more, but I'm going to try to get to everything that looks like it warrants response. Kind of more like what I do on the videos. So yeah. And Robert Hill says the R-body is identical to 73 and up B. Okay, I know they're smaller. I didn't know to what extent they were the same or were not the same. But also, that didn't last for long. So, yeah. Oh, gold boxes. I didn't mention gold boxes. Yeah. Kelly Smith wants to know if anyone else is a fan of Rust Valley Restorers. I don't know them. Hi, DJ Freeman. Hi, is changing pinion seal on 9 1/4 rear pretty straightforward? Yes and no. If you just pull the pinion, which hopefully comes off easily, they don't always. Sometimes you need to pull or a little bit of heat, hammer, that sort of thing. Pull the pinion, pull the seal, tap the new seal in, and reinstall the pinion. It is straightforward, but it also isn't. If you get the preload set wrong when you tighten the pinion nut back down, you're going to have a bad time. You need to get that just right. You need to use red Loctite. You need to try and get it like just right back where it was. Some people use a paint pen to mark the exact position the nut was in. If you go too far, you'll get too much tension on your pinion bearings and they will wear out quickly. If you don't go far enough, there won't be enough tension on your pinion bearings and they will wear out quickly. And in either of those cases, it'll make horrible noises. So it's a bit of a delicate operation. If you break the whole axle down and replace, I'm pretty sure those are a crush sleeve. They got to be a crush sleeve. God, it's been a while since I did a Chrysler. That style of Chrysler, anyway. I don't think those are side adjusters. I'm pretty sure those are a crush sleeve. I'm fairly certain. Consult your service manual. But I think it's a crush sleeve, and that's usually where you have problems. Because you either don't get tension back on there or you over crush it or, bad stuff happens. But yeah, in any case, it's an easy enough operation as long as you take that into consideration, trying to get that right. So yeah, I've done it a lot. And the good thing about Chrysler axles, when you're tightening that down, you're setting the gear mesh, you're setting the preload on the pinion. Forget what I was about to say. They're fairly forgiving on the gear lash. They're like, there's a lot of room in there. But yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with tightening the pinion nut. Anywho, Mountain Hours says, got my rolls canardly with a box of spark plugs, sparks, and my piston return springs. Well, happy April Fool's Day to you. Oh, R. Hill dropped in. Bob, welcome, and said, love the Trail Duster video, Jamie. Hi, everyone. Hello, how's it going? Robert Hill would still like, the other Robert Hill, who commented right below him, would still like to have an argument, but I haven't heard what the argument is yet. Oh, my little dog Quiche is the obscure B-52s reference. It's a good one. I don't know that one. But bring your jukebox money. Jamie, when did Chrysler stop making full-frame cars and switch to unibody? They continued making full-frame cars in the Imperial until the end of the Imperial, which was... I don't know. I don't remember. They made both at the same time. They started switching to unibody with the they switched to torsion bar in 58, right? But they were a stub frame, as some call them, not a unibody. I believe the first unibody was the A body, then the B body, and then the C body, in that order. But the Imperial was still its own thing, and it was still a full frame, like into the 70s, if I am remembering correctly. I'm not an expert. But yeah, they were kind of making them concurrently. But the 60s is when the important switches happened. Holy carburetors and headers rule. Get out. I'm sure you heard a few minutes ago where I referenced a Holley vacuum secondary being absolutely perfect, awesome, and excellent on my 66 Charger. I've had Holleys that work great, but I prefer the Edelbrock. I've been gravitating towards them for years. I have no regrets. Functional Histories wants to know, you got anything on the lot out there you'd like to donate to us for the No Name Nationals next year? Having a hell of a time trying to get a decent car cheap. Maybe we could come out there to do the Gambler. I want to set my Volare up to do the Gambler. That would be amazing. But I was just going to say, well, I do have a Volare. Oh, I don't know if anyone has noticed, we haven't seen Dan Berg for a while. His face tubes got hacked, and he kept sending me requests for money. His account kept sending me requests for money. It was hilarious. It sent me one for $420 and one for $69. So I was going to respond and say, well, I guess I did respond and said, I guess you're an American hacker. And whoever it was found that very hilarious. And then said, so can I have your money? Anyway, the Volare reminded me of Dan Berg because he always says it's his. Anyway, I have that. It's still sitting there. I want to put a turbo on it and truck tires, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. CFI Care says TQ is my favorite carb. I love those things. Love them. Love the thermoquad. I don't know, some of you guys see my comments on the B-body group and the A-body group and that sort of thing. Sometimes I get caught in the wild, but I comment in those groups a good bit. And I was in the A-body group the other day. Someone was trash talking the thermoquad. And I was like, dude, I have an 1188 time slip from 73 that my car did with the thermoquad and exhaust manifolds, Robert. Exhaust manifolds. Anyway, thermoquads are great if you get them right. But yeah, and then people call the Edelbrock garbage, and it's like, dude. And then someone commented on the Trail Duster video and said, throw that garbage Edelbrock away and put a thermoquad back on it. Brother, they're like the same thing. Anyway, good times. Sir Swerve agrees. 312, that's not a common Mopar ratio. It's 2.9 and then 3.2. 3.21 in the other ones, but 3.23 is the 8 3/4. Tim Jefferson says, hi, I bought a 360 Dart with engine balance issues. Is there an easy way to sort that out without pulling the engine? No idea what's in it for a crank. Well, that is the kind of the problem. Engine balance issues, meaning it vibrates like a bastard. Are you sure? Okay. You really only have two options for crank in a 360. You either have a factory crank, which is the cast crank and uses the same external weights that every 360 used until the Magnum, or you have, well, Magnum, I guess, so it's three options, but more likely you have a stroker crank. That would be the other possibility. If someone built a stroker engine, people don't necessarily know that those are neutral balance, and they put the 360 weights back on, which is a mistake. So I did a video about fixing that on a 69 Charger on the channel maybe 2-3 months ago. So you can go back and watch that. But you kind of need to know what crank you have. On that car, we pulled the transmission out. We swapped the flex plate in the car. I pulled the balancer, swapped the balancer, and away we went. It was perfect. So hopefully you can do that, but you kind of need to know, again, you need to know what crank's in there. Look at your balancer. If there's no weight on it, and the block says 360 on the side, they may have put a 318 balancer on a 360 crank. That would be a mistake. And similarly, you need the weighted torque converter. You can pull the dust guard and look in there and see if there's a weight on your torque converter, or if you have the aftermarket flex plate, which is very common these days, with the cutout. So yeah, again, you either have a 360 crank and you need the weighted balancer, weighted flex plate slash torque converter, or you have a stroker and you don't. Those are your options. Ah, yes, the horse joke. I forgot. If it weren't for my horse, what did he say? It's the dumbest thing he'd ever heard, or the weirdest thing that he's ever heard that he's still thinking about to this day. Anyway, I lost my pick. I'm playing with it. If it weren't for my horse, I wouldn't have spent that year in college. Howdy, Scott Day. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. I blew up my 7 1/4 rear end. That is amazing. Good work. Happened to found an 8 1/4 out of a Dart for my Duster. Did the 8 1/4 ever come in a Duster? Yeah, 318 one. Yeah. 3 V8 4-speed 72 up. 73 up? Yeah, I mean, whatever. The fit is the same Dart to Duster. You could still get a 340 Duster in 73. There were no 340 Darts, so it's almost more likely to see them in a Duster, if that makes sense. 391s are great too. Yep, for sure. Free World says Mopars are the coolest. I agree. Gary Hergert has had good luck with phenolic spacers for heat soak, and yes, that's what I've heard as well. That's what I've heard. Robert Hill says 68 Charger is the most beautiful creature ever. Functional Histories agrees. After the Superbird, I'm still going to have to say it goes like this, not like this. It goes like this. Yep. Ooh, I have this sitting here too. Lots and lots of first-generation Charger fans. I was really impressed with that. That car, that was very, very popular. In fact, that video made me hundreds of dollars in 2 days, and it yielded the most views I have ever gotten in a day on YouTube, ever, from that 67 Charger video. So, pretty cool. Kelly Smith says, I don't mind the 355 ratio in my truck. Yeah, trucks are different with the taller tires. You're going to have a ratio with a higher numerical number. 68 first year for 8.25, but A body 73 plus. Yes, 73. Okay, I was just hemming and hawing about that. It's 72, 73. Yeah, that sounds right. And that is why the 8.75 were gone. That is why there are no factory big bolt pattern A body 8.75. They don't exist. Good time. Yeah, the Elvis movie Speedway. It's 66 or 7 Charger. Yeah, it's cool. My first Charger was a 66. This is what I always wanted it to look like. This is not what it looked like. It was the ugly yellow color. And David in the comments, I could go find one of his comments and show it, but he has that car. I sold it to him after I got my 68. But yeah, it was, you know what? Actually, that was the first one that I actually drove. But before that, I owned 3 third-generation Chargers. I had a 71 first that I put a 383 in. Never had it running, never drove. Then I had a 73 Charger. Then I had a 74 Charger. Got rid of those. Moved back. I guess one of the Chargers was before the move, one was after. Sold the other one. Finally got the 66. Those I might have had them concurrently. I don't even remember. The 66 is the big one. The first one I count. I owned that car for 9 years. I had 4 engines and 5 transmissions in that car over those years. Did some upgrades, suspension and brake things, and I put a couple thousand miles on it in 9 years. I did drive it to California once. Chris Diesner dropped in a few minutes ago. Howdy, Chris. How's it going? Oh, Avon dropped in 16 minutes ago, so I guess the stream officially began 16 minutes ago. Avon, are you coming to 80s Day? You should come to 80s Day. Nick says, Mopar. Nice. YTViewer127. How would you recommend installing an emergency/park brake for a 66 Valiant with fender well headers? Thought the brake setup in your brother's video might be the solution, but not so much. Well, the thing you need to understand is that has nothing to do with it. That front cable, as I said in my response to you there, that front cable always has to be there. It still comes out in the same place. So that's not going to help you at all. My Barracuda has fender well headers, and it still has a factory parking brake. So why can't yours have a factory parking brake? Just curious. Is it actually hitting? I mean, heat shield might be a nice idea. Robert Hill wants to know if anyone in America is building ball joints. I doubt it. Hip surgeons? Exploration Obsession. Good evening. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for dropping in. And the comment was good evening from the Ozarks. Robert Hill says bad reverse band could cause that, caused by dropping J-tracks. All right. Kelly Smith, I would give my left arm to be ambidextrous. Donnie might be asleep. He's busy putting a quadrajet on his sat. Boo! Quadrajets! Quadrajets suck! Yeah, I said pinion, but I meant yoke. You know what I meant? 3 people have sent me that car. I really want it. I don't have $3,500. It is a damn good deal. 67 Fastback Barracuda Formula S 273 automatic over in Spokane for $3,500. It's like, dude, that is good money for that car, and I'm pretty excited. But yeah, I can't afford it. I cannot add any more cars to the fleet. We're out of space. If someone would buy my Valiant, that would help. I did list my 72 Swinger for sale. It's almost rust-free. It's a huge project, and it's missing a title. So if anyone needs an almost rust-free 72 Swinger that needs literally everything else, let me know. I will sell it to you. Yeah, I'm going to try and thin the herd a little bit again. I'm not going crazy or anything, but I need to make some space, and I need to kind of focus on things. So, yeah. Bell James would be willing to shuttle a PT Gasser between DDG and UTG if you guys became so inclined. That is good to know. I will keep that in mind. Yeah, all right. Cool. Mostly Mopar says, my 74 Duster that wouldn't fire after completely replacing the ignition system turned out to have a new but bad orange ignition box. Yeah. Welcome to it. Welcome to it. New parts suck. Oh, hey, 138 of you hanging out. If you haven't hit like on the stream, she came from Planet Claire. She drove a Plymouth Satellite. Please do that. I would appreciate it. Free World says, I'm going to have my 318 rebuilt for my D100. Mild build, Lunati Voodoo, 258, 265, 454, 475. That is pretty mild. Way to keep it mild. Well, for a 318. That'll do cool stuff. Headers, Holly 600, Edelbrock Performer intake. Would Keith Black KB 167 pistons work with that build? I don't know! Why do people keep asking me about pistons? I don't know. I know nothing about this. Every performance engine build I've ever done came as a pile of parts with pistons. Looking at that piston, yes? It's a flat top with valve release. What more would you want? I mean, sure. Looks good to me. It looks like what I'm usually sticking in a performance engine. Guys, you guys eventually are going to learn I'm really, really bad with numbers. I don't know anything about tire sizes. Compression ratios are something I pay zero attention to. I'm not the guy to ask. Anyway, looks good to me. Scott Day, need your advice on rear ends. The 8 1/4, is it easy to swap with the 7 1/4? Yes, but you need different shock plates. If you've got the matching shock plates, you're good to go. Purchase are the same. Technically, the drive shaft is different. The 8 1/4 is a little longer toward the front, but in my experience, it's probably fine. You've probably got enough slack in your drive shaft to just pop it in there. You can even transfer the brakes. Well, you can transfer the backing plates over, but what year is this car? Are you already big bolt? 8 1/4 is big bolt. If you're already big bolt on your 7 1/4, then you can transfer the brakes over, I think. That's usually all the same, those outer mounts. Pretty easy, yes. Not a whole lot to it. Music Tony dropped in and said hello from Arizona. Hello from Washington. Brent Forte says the only Daytona I ever drove was an 85 Shelby. It was plumb crazy purple. He removed the Shelby from the windshield. Nice. I'll bring my jukebox money, but no tin roof Rusty, please. Nice. Awesome. 1966 was the last full frame Imperial. Really? I thought they were full frame later than that. But again, I've said this before. I will say it again. I am not an expert. I thought they were still full frame later than that. Because they look like the other C-bodies, but they're not. They share nothing with them. Oh, that's a new part. That's not an Imperial. That's an Imperial. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I thought they kept it a lot longer than that. But again, I don't know a damn thing. I'm no expert. Anywho, I thought I had heard that recently, that they had it into the 70s. So again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Been wrong before. In some places, the full-frame Imperial was outlawed for Destruction Derby. I wonder why. Yeah. Mechanics. Has anyone put an LS in a Cordoba? I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. This has been my experience for the most part, and this is why I'm a diehard Carter Edelbrock guy now. They don't piss gas everywhere. You do want to have an argument, don't you? Well, first off, again, this guy was led astray on the build choices. It wasn't his idea. It's kind of what he ended up with. Log manifolds are fine. HP manifolds are better, but log manifolds are fine. to a certain point. Yeah, and if my 383 Charger can do block long burnout, spinning both 295s with 323 sure grip gears with a stock, like, you know, whatever. Anyway, the point is, they work fine to a point. That guy didn't want a race car. He didn't want a race engine. He kind of ended up with one. But I wouldn't put headers in that car. I'd leave it alone. No, I have not mailed that turbo. It's the weekend. How old is that picture? Huh. I mean, I remember that, Miles, but I haven't seen him in a bit. Carb nerds love Hollies. Those of us who'd rather get in, sit down, slam the door, and drive off, don't. Exactly. I intentionally did not mention the vacuum situation with the big cam so people would comment, because the more comments I get, the more views I get, and the more money I make. I actually had one little clip about it. I didn't discuss it enough, and I decided to leave it out and let people discuss it in the comments. Having said that, my argument against it is when I rev the engine up to a point that it makes some vacuum, you still only get one press out of the brakes and then it's gone again. So, yeah. That didn't seem, because again, when it's sitting there making vacuum, you're at a point in the RPM range where it does that, you know, relatively close throttle, 1400 RPM, should be making plenty of vacuum. And it did the same shit. So that is why I didn't point to that as the main culprit. I did mention it in a clip. I was going to say, you know, big cam, yes, this can be a problem. But here's the thing. I have never, ever, not once, actually had a situation where I couldn't do a recurve and get enough vacuum at idle that the power brakes worked just fine. Never. Anyway, I'm still thinking check valve for some reason, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Yeah, well, it wasn't white. It was that horrible off-white, yellowish color. Yeah, my friend. So when I closed my business last July, just so happened that Dave messaged me like the week we were closing the shop, and he said, "So is today a good day or not a good day to try and buy your charger?" He'd been trying for a while. We'd almost made a deal like twice, and then I just kind of backed out because I didn't want to get rid of the car. But then I got my 68. Do I really need both chargers? No. And I didn't have inside space for the 66, so it was just sitting rotting in my yard. And he said, "Well, you know, what's up this week?" And I looked at the car and I looked at my bank account and I went, yeah, it can go. So he has fixed everything wrong with it, basically. Fixed the floor, new carpet. Have you fixed the trunk yet, Dave? He replaced the trunk lid, even painted it to kind of sort of match the car. Bunch of stuff. So anyway, basically my theory was I'll let Dave take it. He'll have his fun. He is really good at just fixing all these little things. Like he's just driven to do it on these cars. He just works through them and gets them to a certain point. And my theory was he'd make the car perfect and then he'd get bored and he'd sell it back to me eventually. So I'm still banking on that. Robert Hill, I have also been called much worse than Carb Nerd. Tulsa wants to know, why is the Power Wagon your logo and not a Charger? The Power Wagon is the vehicle I started the channel with. The first real Dead Dodge Garage video I did was the first part of the 12 volt conversion in my Power Wagon, which I still haven't finished almost 2 years later. Almost exactly 2 years later, actually. It was right after Christmas 2021 that I started the channel, so we're almost there. So it's kind of symbolic in that regard. I started the channel with that truck, thought it was cool. The people liked it. Any Power Wagon video did really well, at least in the beginning, the before times. It's a lot more, there's a lot more preference toward the muscle car era type things now. But yeah, it was just a big part of starting the channel. Really liked it. And when Fitz and I were working on logos, the first version that he did was a Duster. And I really liked the idea, but it kind of just looked like a grill. Does that make sense? It kind of just looked like a grill and a windshield. And it just didn't have that same... If you knew what it was, you knew what it was. But I don't know, it just didn't have that same, like, character to it. And we were talking about that, like, it's kind of one-dimensional. We need something with more going on in the front, something distinct, something that has some angles to it. And then I thought, I know the perfect thing. So I took a picture of, I sent over several pictures of the Power Wagon and Power Wagons and said, what do you think of this? Would this work? And he said, yeah, we could do that. No problem. And I said, okay, cool. Hang on a second. And then I took a picture of the actual truck. So that is a graphic made off of a picture of my actual 48 Power Wagon. And if you look, the mirrors are crooked. And the funny thing is, Fitz tried to fix that in the design. Converted it to a graphic and tried to fix the mirrors, and didn't realize they're actually crooked on the truck. He thought he screwed something up. It was hilarious. So we re-crookeded them. And as you can see, they made it to all of the hats and the shirts and the stickers crooked. So yeah, that's why it was symbolic for me. It loaned itself to that design, to his artwork really well, which I love. I really like the style. And yeah, it's cool. And you see that, that's a 75-year-old Dodge truck. Well, at least if you know 75-year-old Dodge trucks. Nothing else looks quite like that. Which leads me to the question from Chris. Do you like Dodge Power Wagon? Yes, I do. I have, well, if I count Dave's that's still sitting here, I have 3. Yeah. Oh, Dave, Charger 4. Oh, no trunk 4 done yet. Oh, meanwhile, a truck I was just mentioning, the 3rd Power Wagon, the 3rd wheel around here is Dave's. Sold it back to him. It was part of the Charger deal. Meanwhile, a friend is storing my truck while I build the engine. Belvedere needs transmission, exhaust, and headwork. Charger needs a trunk 4, but it's not getting it. Yeah, sounds about right. Yes, Chris, I love Dodge Power Wagons. They're one of my favorite things in the world. I was not a truck guy at all when I started in this hobby. It was all about the muscle era-ish, darts and dusters and Chargers if I could get my hands on them. I wasn't a truck guy. I thought trucks were pointless. I thought trucks were what rednecks drove. And then I slowly realized that I am one. But, when I was in school, all the idiots drove pickup trucks and it looked like they threw buckets of mud on them and to try and look cool. And so I thought I didn't want that. And then I realized one day I really liked them. My first truck was a 75 Power Wagon D100 short bed, 318 automatic. Loved that truck. It was a horrible rusty piece of garbage, but it would go anywhere. When my wife moved back here, she daily drove it for months out of town. Yeah, lots of fun times with that truck. And I've had many Power Wagons and Power Rams since. Right now I have the 48. This one. That one. The 48 Power Wagon. Still have that. Tried to sell it. Had no takers. And I have a 64. Still working on the video for that. Yes. Do you have any 60s 4-door Power Wagons? Not 4-door. I was just admiring this in your picture. That's looking pretty good. But yeah, I am a big fan. Avon is coming to 80s Day. Awesome. Sounds great. Oh, but he has to leave at like 8:30 because I have work in the morning, but I'll at least be there for a bit. Well, it's the thought that counts, I guess. All right. Well, we'll see you then. Good morning, Vietnam. How's it going, Patrick? Nice. Oh, man. Exploration Obsession loved the Charger. Missed owning one in 1985 by 15 minutes. Grandma Church driver with red interior on silver. I've seen a couple that way. They're beautiful. I didn't mean to click that, but I guess I'll read it anyway. Chris Diesner wanted to know, how hard is it to get a title for a car or truck where you are at? You have to have it inspected by the state patrol, assuming it is not stolen, and they can confirm the numbers and that it's not, built out of 7 different cars. They will assign you a temporary VIN, or they will assign you a new VIN, and they will issue you a temporary registration, essentially. Or it's like a temporary, it's called ownership in doubt. 3 years, you can register it, you can drive it, you can even sell it, but it's attached to you. It's attached to you because you're the one that licensed it. After 3 years, they actually print a title. But during that 3-year period, if the original owner comes out of the woodwork and claims your car, have fun in court. Good times. The 80s, when you didn't have to be a rich yuppie car show asshole to buy a hot Mopar. Yeah, I missed all the good times. Sell some slow pars, brothers. That's how you make space. Hit like, or Mom Mopar will haunt you in your sleep. Some slow pars. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. A Slant 6 can destroy things. Yes, 904 transmissions. Kelly Smith, do you turn the pistons 180 degrees? I heard Uncle Tony say that's a great idea, so I tried it once. It was a nice running engine, but I don't know that that was what did it. I have also since seen dyno tests of that being done, and it made no difference. So at this point, Plus, most of the engines I'm putting together now don't have factory pistons. Just for fun and to make myself feel better, maybe I will flip them around in the next 273 I do. But no, I'm getting aftermarket pistons for that too. So yeah, it doesn't work with those, or it's not supposed to anyway, or whatever. I've watched the videos. I've heard the argument for it. It made sense to me, but I've also heard that it's not enough of a change to do anything. So yeah. Oh, Bill Johnson said getting that inspection I just mentioned from Washington State Patrol, amusing at the moment. They are down on personnel. Most of their inspection stations are closed. You have to drive like an hour and a half to find one that is operating and wait like months in many cases. Months. Nice. Robert Hill really does want an argument tonight. Yes, the 8 1/4 shares the shock plates, U-bolt plates, with the 8 3/4. That is correct. The 7 1/4 ones are smaller. Scott Day, yeah, you can email me, deaddodgegarage@gmail.com. We'll see is installing an 80s 4-barrel intake on my 318 and my Demon. Ideas on removing the heat shield for the heat crossover permanently. The heat shield. What? Do those have a separate heat shield? Are you talking about underneath in the valley? I don't know much about these intakes. I have one here I could go look at, I guess. Yeah, log manifolds are like corks in your exhaust when you make 500 horsepower. When you make 300 horsepower, it doesn't matter. And headers suck balls. They are the worst. They are awful. They're stupid. They fit like garbage. They burn spark plug wires. They scrape the ground unless you spend $800 for the ones that don't. Headers are the worst. I hate them. Let's go, man. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's do this. Yeah. And exactly. Like, yes, headers are better. No shit, headers are better. If you're trying to make 400 horsepower, if you're trying to hit the drag strip, if you're trying to spin to 6,000 RPM all the time, headers are better. If it's a daily driver car, headers are garbage. You don't want that. Just stupid. Functional Histories would love to own what's left of my Volare. I somehow skipped that last comment. I don't know what's going on. I'm both trying to skip comments, but also not skip all of them. Anyway, it's delicate balance. Header burns from changing plugs are a badge of honor. Yeah, and I've got my fair share of those. I'm a veteran of having to use a 13/16 open-end wrench to tighten the spark plugs in my stupid big block Challenger with headers. So, manifolds, preferably HP manifolds, but okay. Run with the shield. Okay, yes. We are talking about a shield underneath the intake, and that is the reason for it. And there you go. Dan Tupper says it's a damn fine idea. They'll knock a lot of power off of a good engine. If we're talking 250 to 300, I don't think so. Your average 440, get the HPs. But a 383 that supposedly made 330, 335, which is gross. So net, it's like 250, 270. You're not losing 50 horsepower with manifolds. Yeah, you'll gain some with headers. Again, there's no question. You're not going to notice the difference on the street. What you will notice is when your friggin' dart header bottoms out on a manhole cover and bends the flange, shorts out your main battery cable, and almost sets your car on fire the day you get a $2,000 loan to buy it. So, yeah. Headers for a street car? No. Nope. Riplipper wants to know if I have a favorite parts store distributor. I've been using our local guys at Cut Rate Auto Parts as much as possible. But that information doesn't help you where you're at, probably. So O'Reilly is my favorite national chain. I worked there for 5 years, I think. I don't remember. Something like 5 years. And I know how their system works really well. They have the best availability of parts. They locally, anyway, stock the most classic Mopar parts because I always buy them. So they usually have what I need. Although they never have the Remflex gaskets, which is stupid. But anyway, yeah, O'Reilly has done the best for me. We get 3 deliveries from O'Reilly a day out here. So if I need stuff, I can get it quickly. Yeah, as far as national chains. But my local guys at Cut Rate, they usually give me a great deal on everything. Really like them. Bill Johnson was buying parts from crap in the 70s in Shelton. Surprised they're still around. Yep, that store's still there too. Yeah, headers on a built motor. Yes, well, that friggin' 383 wasn't supposed to be a built motor. He didn't want a built motor. He didn't want to put headers on it. I wouldn't either. Anyway, I like crap. We're good dudes. But basically, it's like this. If they have it in stock, it's going to save me money, and it's closer to my house, and, you know, they'll deliver it to me too. And they are, what's the word I'm looking for? Forgiving on the financial end of things at certain times. But if they don't have it, O'Reilly's going to be able to get it sooner and for less. So, yeah, those are the 2 I use. I've got some friends at the local AutoZone. I like the people, but the way their system works and the way their less talented employees operate, nah, won't go there. And I've got good, talented friends at the Napa too, but it's way farther from my house. So I don't usually go there. And they don't often have anything that O'Reilly won't. So, yeah. Yeah, there are all kinds of things you can do to make headers work. Yeah, obviously. And it sucks. I like factory stuff. You know, I've said that, and I'll continue saying it. I have never had a 4-door swept line. I have had, excuse me, 1 4-door 70s. Sorry, 2 4-door 70s trucks. I still own the other one. I forgot. Kelly Smith will save the $1,000 on a good set of headers to pay for some gas or tickets. Yeah, that's my thinking on that. Edwin Flannery wants to know, hey Jamie, what do you think is the best cam and 2-barrel carb setup for a Slant 6 to get a bit more power? Well, the Super 6 intake setup is fine. Super 6 in the BBD is awesome. Works fine. There are probably better options to make more power, but the Super 6 is a nice balance. They're still out there. They exist. They were used a lot in the later 70s, so good upgrade. There is a specific exhaust manifold for that setup, which you really want as well. I can't tell you what cam you want. There are people out there that know more than me and that have actually built Slant 6s. I have never yet built a performance Slant 6. That is not something I've done. It's something I want to do. It's something I will be doing in the near future, actually. I forgot. I'm going to be doing that, but not yet. So I don't have a recommendation there. I'd do some reading. I'm sure there are people out there smarter than me that have said so. Wow, 6 crew cab power wagons. That's awesome. I'd love to have one. I'd also love to have the Sox and Martin 71 transporter, but I don't really want to pay for it. Jay Gerlach, only just noticed you're furry again. Yeah, it's back. Everyone in my life says that I need to trim it, keep it trim, but I'm not going to do that. Robert Hill will take the 25 horsepower and burning flash. Well, all right. That's your prerogative. In my Demon, it has TTI coated headers, you know, the ones that cost $800+ now. I'm not taking them out. They're actually good headers. They actually fit, and someone else already spent the $800. So cool. Yeah. And also for the intention of that car, which is rowdy street and some strip, and ideally over 400 horsepower, if I play my cards right. Yeah, headers are the right move for that. But for like my 383 Charger, no, never. Never, ever, ever, not never, not now, not next lifetime. I won't do it. Not for a normal street car. It's stupid. Waste of money, waste of time. Makes everything harder and dumb. Oh, Bill Johnson. Yeah, it took several months to get an inspection appointment for the Coronet, so I only test drive it in Mexico. Yeah, it's really inconvenient. Robert Hill says the piston flip thing works best on 70, 71, 440 HP 6-packs. I will take your word on that. Wow. Dan Tupper says the WSP inspections are kind of the fault of an old girlfriend's dad. Sorry. Okay, yeah, that heat shield. I don't know why you would need to remove it. But I'm sure there's a way. It's what a grinder's for. Headers suck. Grinder and welder can solve a lot of problems. Blue collar worker I put shorts on my truck, hooks up to stock exhaust manifolds, rotted shorty headers for cheaper. Yeah, and the shorties fit better, and they also don't make anywhere near the power that long ones do, so they're almost pointless. But, you know, whatever. I mean, they do a little bit, but they don't do that much. You really need the long tubes for the tuning. That's what they're for. Rip Warber wants to know, what is your favorite Mopar paint color? I'm really partial to the blues. Yeah, 20 grand ain't in my budget. I'd love to have it, but I can't afford that for something I'll almost never use. I can't afford that for anything, frankly. I really like all of the blues. B5 blue, B7 blue, B3 blue. I really, really like those. The early B5, the late B5. I'm not a high impact guy at all. My least favorite is Sublime Green. Don't like it at all. Not even a little bit. My Charger, of course, this is slightly not. The hood is on the trunk now. If I can get it up on the roof, that would be. There, it's on the roof now. Anyway, this is supposed to be PP1 red. Technically, the car is repainted, and it's not quite the right color, but it's really close. And I do like that. I like darker reds. I always wanted my 66 Charger to be this color. So that one, anyway, that one the other day wasn't that dark, but it was PP1, which is what mine is supposed to be, and it was a little darker, kind of the right color. And it was beautiful. Just beautiful. JW blew up a Slant 6. Turns out if you do not keep enough oil in it, yes, it happens. Spun a bearing on my 70 Valiant. It had a wooden front bumper and a grill made out of expanded metal. Nice. Max and wedge exhaust manifolds. Yeah, go for the kill. 289. Do you like the 289 in the Mustang? Yeah, I do. I like the Windsor motor, actually. I've gone on record as having said that, and I do. I've built one 302, really, really liked it. I was impressed with what it did for the size. That car really needs better gears. It has like crappy highway gears. So it doesn't do all that much, but it sounded really good. 289's neat. I've driven a couple 289 cars. I've only driven one that I thought actually ran really well, and that was my friend Dave's convertible, 4-speed convertible 289 car. He's the owner of the Studebaker and the 63 Dart that I will be doing that Slant 6 build on that I mentioned. Yeah, Windsors are cool. I like Windsors. I think they're good engines. Monk from Philly? God damn. I have a live stream idea for your channel, which I've never seen before. Do you have an email address that you check often? Yes. deaddodgegarage@gmail.com. I'm checking it all the time now. In fact, let's see. I got an email. It's Scott from your channel. And it's a picture of a primer gray Duster. Wow, there was one just like that locally that I should have bought but didn't. Yeah, so you can reach me at deaddodgegarage@gmail.com. I check it all the time now. So that would be the place. I'd love to hear your thought. Definitely don't mention it here. We don't want to give it away. Headers on everything, fuel economy. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. It's not that you're wrong, but I still hate headers. And I don't want to deal with it. And they make service a nightmare. And they scrape the ground unless you spend $800. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Bill Johnson bought the wheels and mufflers for my first Cornet there at cut rate. Wow. And the sound. Well, obviously. My Charger sounds pretty good through log manifolds. Just saying. Slant 6 is not indestructible. I blew one up with half a can of ether once. Mr. PFY wants to know, Turbonique rear diff turbine, great for the street or not? The problem with the Turbonique, you couldn't turn it off, and it was like a one-shot deal. So I'm going to say no, because you'd only be able to get one place really, really quickly, but it better be relatively nearby. Yeah, there you go. Vincent Proctor, I had no choice but to put headers on my 413. Couldn't find a manifold for them. Wasn't really a problem. My 66 plier is built as a gasser. Cool. Awesome. Very cool. Krish Patel wants to know, do you still have the Barracuda and are you planning to fully restore it? No, my brother has it now. And if I still had it, absolutely not. No, never. I would never have fully restored that car. That car is an absolute piece of garbage. I said it when it was mine. I say it now that it's his, with even more glee in my voice. You will not see me fully restore any cars. I work at a restoration shop, so you'll see me working on cars getting restored, but in my life, I don't want that. My 68 Charger has some rust I need to fix, so I guess that means eventually it's going to get restored, but that really just means patches and a paint job. I am not a restoration guy. I don't want restored cars. I don't want nice, fancy, shiny painted cars. I like my nice cars with some scratches and dings, so I don't have to worry about it. I like to enjoy my cars, and a fully restored car is not enjoyable, at least not in the same way. So no. Scott Day says, I've built what I think is an upgraded Slant 6, forged pistons, H-beam rods, 318 valves. 318 valves or valve springs? Because the valve springs fit, but I thought that, are the valves, is that a thing? I don't know. Ported head, not heads. 440 cam from Clifford. Nice. Yeah, Clifford has the goods for the Slant. And that sounds about right, but again, I'm no expert. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm planning to do a mild one. I do know with the Slant 6, you start porting the head, and it's not long until you accidentally run into water, so you got to be careful with that. Common problem. But yeah. Cool. Don't forget to shave the head and the block a lot. Bill Johnson says, F3 medium green for the win. I may be a bit biased. Yeah, I'm not a fan of any green, really. I have seen a... Yeah, it probably is F3. I think we've talked about it before. F3 green. I think that's the color that, yeah, it's the color Dave Swinger was. It looks damn good on a Charger, I'll tell you that. Yeah, is F8 the darker one? Is that the super dark one? Wait, is that a newer color? F8 green Charger. I don't know if that's right or not. Nah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I actually don't mind that color. But I'm not a green guy by any stretch of the imagination. 4-barrel on Slant 6. Yeah, Clifford's got the manifold for that. I think there's an Offenhauser too. There are options. Robert Hill's Valiant was B1 with a B5 interior. Is that like the super light, like Robin's Egg? No, that looks like what I thought B3 was. Huh. That's interesting. B1. Okay, so and then here I see B1 baby blue. Yeah. That looks like B7 to me. I don't know. Anyway, I'm guessing because the number code usually, darkness, whatever. B1, B3 lighter, B5 medium, B7 dark. I'm assuming the B1 is like the super light robin's egg, whatever. F8 was the 69 color. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Slant 6, got to go turbo or go home. That's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. G1 is the dark green for 68. Okay, I like that one. So when I got my red 66, 68, Jesus Christ. The guy had a dark green RT clone. That's the car I started talking to him about. Well, that's a weird modern green color. That looks like the one. Yeah, that's very pretty. I really like that color. Yep, that dark green. All right, fine. I guess I do like greens. Kinda. Anyway, F8 green, best Mopar color. I did just look that up, and I did like it. Scott Day, yes, as you heard, I did see your picture, so awesome. That AMC guy hates headers as well. I removed him from my Javelin 20 years ago and never looked back. Yeah, dude, if this is a car you just use, headers are a mistake. Medium Main 6 wants to know, if you were to have a restoration shop do a cosmetic restoration, i.e. body, paint, glass, install, frame, and assembly back to roller condition, and reassemble the rest at home, what would you budget for that? A lot, like so much. I don't know. I mean, it depends on what your car needs. I mean, is there a bunch of rust? Is it dented to hell? Are there a bunch of rare parts missing that have to be procured? What level of paint do you want? Do you want a budget paint job? Do you want a show paint job? I mean, just a kind of decent paint job is costing us $20,000 to $25,000 these days. So start there. The 73 here, 73 Charger. Tracy got that painted somehow. Funky deal, friend, and he supplied the space, materials, etc., etc., etc. Got that painted for 10 grand, and then bought all of the parts you're talking about and installed them himself. And he's already $40,000 into the car and still doesn't have a drivetrain. That was like probably the cheapest that could be done, frankly. With every piece new. And we're talking like everything that was available for that car has been replaced. And all of the upholstery, the door panels and such, which aren't available, have been recovered. Upholstery shop did the upholstery, glass shop did the glass, and he's in it like 40 to 45. So, and again, he did a lot of the assembly work, the little detail stuff. He paid a glass shop, a painter, glass shop, and interior upholsterer. 50 to 70 to have a car done nicely, I mean, it's probably a fair, like 40 is probably the cheapest that could ever happen. You're probably 50 to 70. And again, like this, I mean, I'm kind of a caretaker of it. I see myself as a caretaker of the cars I have now, and they're not even fully restored. But yeah, I mean, I don't want anything like that. It's not where my interest lies. And I saw another comment a little lower down that said patina is where it's at. Yeah, and that's why. And I'm not even saying like, patina, like my Power Wagon that's more rust than anything else. And that's cool. I like it, kind of. I'd actually like to paint that truck someday. I think a nice painted one would be cooler. But the patina is neat. I like the original paint disintegrating off of the Llama Barn Valiant. I think that's awesome. I really like the paint on my Demon that's scraped and scuffed and dented and little touch-ups and that sort of thing. Like, it just tells a story and it still looks presentable. It's not perfect, but it looks presentable. So that's kind of like, that's my idea of a nice car. My Charger, same thing. It's a nice looking car, but it's got little rust bubbles, dings, dents, spots they missed when they did the bodywork, overspray. Like, it's just not that good. It's decent, it's nice enough that I still have to worry about where I park it, but also those cars are really expensive. So there's that. Oh, 58 Fury, minor rust repair. Parts for that are going to kill you. Because Christine. So, I don't know. But probably a lot. Tens of thousands. Yep. Anything restored can be restored again. Yeah, sure, but are you going to spend $100,000 restoring your 58 Fury and then go out and drive it like you stole it? No, you're not going to do that. Anyway. Dave wants to know, how just why are you about Derek's LS valve train in a small block Mopar? I think it's an interesting idea, and it makes sense. Kind of. I'm not planning to do it myself. That AMC guy will never own another Slant 6 powered car. Wow. The AMC 6 is a much better engine. Boys, get the pitchforks and torches. I love the AMC 6. It's a great engine. The 4-liter in particular. But yeah, no, they're good. They really are. Don't make me choose. I like the Slant 6 for other reasons. It doesn't... Better isn't the point. Does that make sense? It's like... I don't know how to explain it. The Slant 6 is like... I don't know. I can't put it into words. Uncle Tony Raid! The entire party is back. Yeah, AMC guy is the actual guy looking for a fight. Nice. Welcome to Uncle Tony's Raidsters. Whatever. How's it going, guys? I'm only 8 minutes behind on the comments. That's pretty good for me. No, the AMC 6 is great. It really is. The Slant 6 is great in its own special way. And I love them. Like, nope, still don't know. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. I like them. They suck, and I like them. Crashes Roadrunner Garage did not know about the Slant exhaust manifold Super 6 intake. Where could I find the part number? I don't know. I don't know what the part number is, but the choke stove is different. On the... you might want to look up a picture. The... one goes this way and one goes that way. The carburetors turned front to back on the Super 6. So the throttle linkage is different. The kickdown linkage is different. And the choke goes this way. It pushes this way. On the other one, it goes this way. So that's why the exhaust manifold is different. You can do some hacking and make the other one work, but you really want the right one. I believe it also has larger ports, internal passageways. I could be wrong. But that's my understanding. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Yes, the AMC 6 went on to be the Jeep 4.0. I was just talking about that and extolling its virtues. 4.0 is great. I love it. Guys, oh my God. That XJ, I mean, I've shown it on video a couple times at this point. I love that thing. It's amazing. It's just like it's like a puppy. It's just happy. It's happy to be with me. It goes wherever I want. It doesn't complain. It vibrates on the highway, and that kind of sucks. But I've done like 700-800 miles already. I drove it through a flood yesterday. That was cool. That was it. Yeah, patina is where it is. Yeah, and again, and I'm not even necessarily talking like, you know, all in like crazy patina jobs or anything like that. I'm just talking like a little bit of wear, you know, natural wear. I don't need cars to be that nice. I don't want cars to be that nice. And as I mentioned, yes, I am going to go turbo or go home on the Slant 6. Yeah, more on that later. I need to get back to that project. Yep. 20K sounds like the budgetest paint and body job available at an actual shop these days, Rooster. I mean, yeah, we're paying more than that. But we're also, I mean, we're talking decent paint shops. And I guess they did do some rust repair too. So, yeah. But that was just the body and paint, and the rust was not bad. The body wasn't that bad either. Chris Patel says the 66 Charger reminds me of a Mustang. Interesting. I don't see it. Nice. Super baby blue. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, the B1. Nice. Oh, Dave Saylor says 68 dark green metallic on my Dart GTS. Nice. Yes. I do like that color. Like I say, I like it all. Nice. Yeah. Labor costs these days are just, oh my God. Nuts. It's just crazy. Oh, yeah. Mexican Spec says 20 to 25K for a paint job. I am glad I'm in Mexico. Dude, that's the word on the street. Take your car down there. Get it painted for nothing. That is what I have heard. Heard that for years. EK2, go mango. Yeah, I'm not into that either. I'm not. No high impact color does it for me. None of them. Not at all. AMC guy agrees with a 20K-ish budget for the body job. But again, okay, that sounds to me like body and paint. That doesn't sound like glass, interior, any other detail work. That sounds to me like a paint job. I kind of think that's where we're at now. So, yeah. Jamie, did you ever see a car covered with wallpaper? I'm thinking my 87 Ram Charger would pop with something you'd see in a gay bar. Let's start a war. Start a nuclear war. No, never have. At the gay bar. Yeah, yep, that's what AMC guy said. Yeah, no glass interior. I did all that myself. 20K was just body paint. Yep, okay, yeah. So I think that's about where we're at. But then if you've got to pay somebody to, I was thinking like, again, so budgeting brand new glass, complete brand new interior, and then shops to install those things. We're getting way over 20K doing all of that. Do they even make new glass for a 58 Plymouth? I'm not so sure. John Kelly, yeah, that's not the point. Doing a slant is hard work for power. Just do a V8. Okay, the reason I'm building one is because it is a 63 Dart, and V8s don't fit unless you ruin everything. They were Slant 6 only. This car already has a lightly warmed over Slant 6. Actually, a pretty impressive one, frankly, and not all that much was done to it. So, it's a Slant 6 car. It's staying a Slant 6 car. And as far as my turbo build, no shit! I want to do a Slant 6. I don't want more power. If it makes 237 horsepower, I'll be happy as a pig in its own poop. I just want to build it. It's fun. It's cool. It's interesting. I've sold a few. So I think I'm down to only 8 perfectly good small block V8s out in the shop, plus a storage unit full of others. I've got small blocks everywhere. I've got multiple big blocks. I sold all the 3rd gen Hemis because screw 3rd gen Hemis. I've got 2 Magnum engines. I have a 440 block I need to build. That's not what I want. I want to do the Slant 6 because I like to have fun. Anyway, it's not all about horsepower. You will never be the fastest car on the street, on the strip. No one in this chat has enough money to be the fastest guy. So stop pretending that you can be. You don't. 300 horsepower makes an awesome street car, and I feel like the Slant with a turbo could get pretty close. It'll be fun, and it'll be a Slant 6 doing it. Farley's Garage says, my dad had a 69 Dart GTS. I got him a 69 GT, found all the GTS trim, and a 69 date code 383 and K member. I'm remaking his high school car for him. What do you think? Will Mopar people hate me? No, that sounds awesome. You're making the 69 Dart a slightly better Dart. It's really cool. I kind of like the 383A bodies. I've had experience with 2 now, and they were pretty cool. I almost built one myself some years ago. I didn't do it. Kind of wish I had, but I didn't do it. Yeah. Anyway, I think you'll be just fine. I think it's a great idea. Yes, my favorite color is Rattle Can Black, people. Do you not watch the videos? Every body shop thinks they need 70 to 100 an hour. I charge 100 an hour to do whatever dumb shit I do. So, yeah, I'm not as talented as those body guys. And, yeah, I charge $100 an hour for regular repairs by the book, but the dealerships charge double that now. So I'm still the budget choice. Bodywork's expensive. Paint's expensive. Everything is expensive. The body shop that we have do our stuff, I'm not telling you what it is because I don't want you to take your cars there because they have enough work to keep them busy forever. They can charge whatever they want and people will pay it. So it's not the body shop's fault. It's the market. It's the customers paying it. It's everything. I don't think dealerships should be charging $200 an hour for repairs. I think they should all get wrecked. But people still pay it, so whatever. Anyway. Scott Day said, oh, yes, I got the Clifford 4-barrel carb. Yep, 4-barrel intake and carb. And you're right, you have to take a lot off the head. So much. I'm aiming for a turbo, but have no turbo skills. I don't have turbo skills either. So that's why I want to do this project. I conceived this some time ago, and we've kind of been talking about turbo or supercharged Slant 6 for many years. Many years this has been an idea. All classics restoration shop rate is $75 an hour. Well, also everything costs more here compared to where you're at, so keep that in mind. Yeah, everything is more expensive here. The cost of living is much higher. Yeah, I charge $100 an hour, and I don't charge every moment. I charge $100 an hour book time, and I cut people deals, and you know, I mean, I'm just a guy doing it, but I'm also a guy with years of experience who has done a lot of it, who can do it quickly and take care of people when other shops are still telling them can't do it for a month, and also screw you, and also that'll be $10,000. So people are happy to pay it. I'll just tell you that right now. 100 might sound like a lot, but it is not. It's almost not enough. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway, Scott Day. So I got really serious about the Turbo Slant project a few years ago. I had a couple Subaru guys working with me, you know, so all the noises and the turbo stuff. And I wanted to see if I could make something comparable, not as good, not faster, but kind of sort of comparable with the Slant 6. I thought it would be really fun, you know, line up with the Turbo Subaru guys with the Turbo 6. So I got pretty serious about it then, and that was before YouTube, of course. Now I have YouTube as good inspiration to do this. So I've been collecting parts and making parts, and yeah, eventually, there will be a Turbo 6. Can't wait. But I've never built a turbo setup before. Never. So I'm looking forward to it. It might be bad. It might blow up. I kind of hope it does. The people love failure. But we'll see how it goes. Wow, it's already 8 o'clock. I am probably going to leave pretty soon. Holy crap, a whole lot of comments just came in. So that's interesting. I'll try to get through them. No promises. There's a whole lot of comments. Holy crap. 137 of you out there. Thank you very much for being here, hanging out, and all that. And yeah, can't wait to see you again next week. Oh, I'm building a go-kart. Does anyone want to see that? Don't care. You're going to see it anyway. Well, you don't have to watch the video, but I'm going to do it. Yeah. Bill Johnson was doing restorations for a living in the early 2000s, and restoring an MGB was $35,000 for the whole kit and caboodle. When he moved over to doing vintage race cars, they started at $100,000. Well, MGBs are tiny, so everything's cheaper. Nice. Okay, Media Main has all the parts in triplicate. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, I think 20 for a decent body and paint job with very minimal rust is probably close. Seems close. Excellent. I have screwed with 318 polys a little bit. I've swapped one, helped swap one. I've suffered with one that sucked for a long time. That's a 440 now. I am fixing one in my 64 Power Wagon. That video is not out yet. I'd really like to get back to that, but there's just so much to do. But yeah, there will be more poly content eventually. I hope to do a performance one. I really want to. They have some performance potential. That would be cool. Robert Hill, I kind of like forward looks. Kind of. The Slant 6 is a beautiful engine, but it performs poorly. It's like driving a painting. I don't know if they're even all that beautiful, but all right. And the AMC engines just blow up for fun, too, so there's that. HDF2 said, what up, DDG? Really dug the bushing replacement video. I found that process out through trial and error back in the day. Yeah, me too. Yeah, exactly. That's the fun in it. This guy gets it. The Slant 6 is like making power with an engine you know you probably shouldn't be. We'll see if it holds together. Yeah, you shouldn't. Let's do it. Sounds awesome. My sister said that. Hopefully, you all tickled the like button. The AMC BBD. Nice. That would be awesome. Yeah, cool. AMC had a BBD with an electric choke. Didn't know that. That would be great. What is your favorite engine? Not necessarily Chrysler. Well, it is Chrysler, but my favorite engine total, all of them, is between the 340 and the 383. I love both. I think if I could only have one, tough call. Probably the 340 though, because it's amazing. 383 is great though. I've had some good times with those. And runner up to those options, tied for 1, 5.9 Cummins. The Cummins is amazing. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's excellent. There you go. What would I do to a Dodge Magnum RT for more pep? I don't know. The modern one, I think they make enough pep. Please grow all your hair back like my bro. Mine doesn't get poofy like his. And my beard's different too. I'm not going to grow it back how it was. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm beyond that. I'm confused by that. Confused by that. Oh, God. Charles S. I'll promise you right now. Hey, Jamie, as your channel grows, please don't become a Holly commercial. I'm running out of creators to watch. I will never become a Holly commercial. I talk crap about Holly carbs all the time. Holly Sniper is a mistake. It's just a bad idea. You shouldn't buy one. Please don't. And certainly don't ask me to work on it after you install it and can't figure out what's wrong with it. I will not become a Holly commercial. I really like Edelbrock carburetors. They haven't paid me to say that. I praise certain things on the channel and swear at other things on the channel, and that is down to my actual experience with those things. I'm not paid to say so. If someone wants to sponsor me someday and send me free parts that I actually like and actually think are a good idea and think it's a good idea to share that with you, I would be open to that. I'd love to make dirty money. Being rich sounds awesome. I would have so many chargers. But no, I'm not going to become a shill for something I don't believe in, and that isn't. So there you go. Yes, Slant 6s crack all the time. Be careful with the headers on the Slant. Make sure you do a single tailpipe. Just watch Uncle Tony's Understanding the Slant 6 video. That should answer all the questions. Yes, they do crack often. I still have a couple good ones around because I know that I might need them someday. Although I haven't had any, not Barracuda recently. But anyway. Oh, yeah, your 70 Coronet's perfect. Yep. It's blue and dense, dings, some rust. Interior isn't perfect. Driver quality car, and I love it that way. Yeah, so cool. All the power to you. Nice. Very nice. Wow. Mexican spec got a quote of 25,000 pesos to paint a 99 Ram Charger in a booth. What's that, like $30? A cool customer at O'Reilly really wanted to buy my 66 Barracuda, and he'd always tease me, you got my Barracuda here today. Cool Hispanic dude, he'd moved up here. Really, I don't remember his original country of origin, but somewhere in your neighborhood. Anyway, the Latin chunk of America. And he teased me about selling it to him all the time. So I finally told him one day, I don't even remember it. They were so much cheaper back then. Was it $4,000? Might have been $4,000, which I thought was a lot of money. And he walked up, put his hand out, shook my hand, pulled me in and said, Mexican pesos. It's hilarious. Yeah. The shop owner wants every job to pay the full month's bills. That's what I say to every single customer. That's why I said to the charger guy, because I did charge him to do that. I did not charge him my full rate for the full amount of time I spent, because I spent a lot of time on it. It was a reasonable enough deal. And he was happy. He was very happy. He said, man, if it wasn't Christmas season, I would have slipped some extra in here. Like, I just appreciate the help so much. But what I said to him is what I say to everyone. I'm not trying to retire off every job, Yeah, I need to make some money for my time, but that's not how I operate. But some of these places do. It is insane. Just insane. I would love to drive a Panther Pink A-body. Yep. And white interior, 340. That is the perfect one. I would like mine to be a 70 Swinger 340, please. That would be great. Those darts are cute, like the classic Miata. I agree. I even got to do a bunch of work on a convertible one recently, which was really neat. Not everything has to be fast. Slow cars are fun. Yes, they are. You can have more fun going fast in a slow car than going slow in a fast car. That thing people always say or whatever. Yep. Awesome. Electric 6. Danger! Danger! High voltage! I'm really glad someone got that. You know Jack White's in that song? Yeah. Anyway. Yep. John Redsky, I just subscribed, but watching for about a month. I have a 67 D200, 318, sort of built. Watched your video on No Start, got it going. My Dodge is a 4x4 now, 410 Posi. 2001 Dakota replaced 4.7. Oh, those are the worst. I hate the 4.7. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that. I got a Civic, so you know I'm pretty fast. You might say things are getting kind of serious. I'll just put that on the board. Nitrous can fix a lot of problems too, yeah. It's hard to build the leaning tower power, but why not try? It's the Dodge way. Exactly. Exactly. Now that is just rude. I mean, come on. Come on. You could take second every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Put in the work. Do some exercises. Catch my meaning. Yeah. Did I knew that. Did I imply that it has a 440? It's a Cornet 440. Ours is a Cornet 440. I know that. If I made a mistake and said yours was a 440, whatever. I'm an idiot. Oh, no. It was someone else's comment. Okay, got it. Yeah. Uncle Tony's got all the good info on oil control inside the Slant 6, or lack thereof. John Kelly only asks these questions because I know it's a nerve with you, and I love watching your reaction. I thought that might be the case. You're welcome. Yeah, shop rates are hugely different depending on the area. How do I feel about Evos? Subaru's the one for me. Turbos are for winners and guys that like exploding their engines for no reason. New engine last month. Just needs a new engine. Chrysler did do cool turbo cars. Absolutely. But they didn't turbo a Slant 6. Gearheads build things because they can. Mike's car hold just crashed an Evo. That's a bad idea. You shouldn't do that. Don't do that. Here's a good comment from Dave Harvey. Slant 6 appeals to people who love underdogs. Yeah. Perhaps Mopar is the underdog of the big three. Yes. But the Slant 6 is the underdog of the underdog, and we root for it all the way. Yeah. Exactly. Dan Tupper is excited about the go-kart. Yes, that was very well said by Dave, who owns that 63 Dart, among other cool things. Oh, Flaco, the skinny kid dipped out. A bunch of people are dipping out because it's the time to do that. So I will just say thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys hanging out this late. And Mexican Spec asked why my sister isn't a moderator. I actually told her I was promoting her to moderator tonight, but I learned that I have to go do it actually on YouTube. I can't do it from StreamYard, which is highly inconvenient. Jonathan Jesh, are you going to intercool your turbo slant? I am not planning on that initially. I'm going to run it non-intercooled. We're talking really low boost levels. We're talking, yeah. Initially, no. That may be like phase 4. Don't know. Kelly Smith brings up the Ford 300, which is another great inline 6. I love the 300, especially when they got fuel injected F-150 with a fuel-injected 300 and a 5-speed, gets 20-plus miles a gallon. It'll tow a few pounds. It'll do all kinds of things. In fact, an F-250, I serviced one. The guy was towing so much weight with it, and it worked, but it launched the Mitsubishi 5-speed, so I had to replace that. I love the Ford 300. I love all inline sixes. That's a great one. It really is. But I prefer the Cummins. Torque. In torque we trust. And turbos too. Oh, yeah. There should be at least one moderator in case stupid things happen. No stupid things have happened since the beginning of the live streaming when the porn bots were dropping in. I haven't seen any ever since then, so... If there's a guy with a 72 Duster pushing 600 horsepower with a 6, I'd like to know who that guy is. I'd like to meet that guy. Mike's car hole hit a barrier at 50 in that Evo. Ooh. Oh. Elderbrock, ABS 2 for life. See you, Stacy. Oh, yeah. Sniper EFI's garbage. I hate it. Elderbrock equals dumb, and dumb equals good. Dumb equals fix it with a screwdriver and a hammer. Yep. Nightbell James. Yes, that also. You make more money out of repeat customers. I don't. So I still fix customer cars here, and now I'm getting YouTube projects, and that's cool. But people that brought me cars at the shop, for years, message me and say, "Are you still working on cars? Can you do this? Do you know anyone who will do that? Can you help me with this? Could you handle this?" And they're willing to wait for me. They're willing to pay whatever I ask because they know it's going to be reasonable. Yeah, so I don't advertise. I don't have an actual storefront, a sign. I have nothing. I'm not in the phone book. I have my phone, and people message me, and that's it. So, yeah. Harley MF Davidson is here and says, Mike brought me here, but I don't know who Mike is. Oh, Mike's car hole? Mike's car hole. Got it. That guy. Dry sump slant 6 would absolutely fix the problem. I've been thinking about dry sumping a small block. I think it's an interesting idea. I've never seen it done. I've seen dry sump big blocks and Hemis and stuff, but I've never seen it done on a small block. Not to say it hasn't been. But yeah, I think that would fix a lot of the problems. God, that would just be like, talk about gluing a penis to a chicken. You know what I mean? Dry sump slant 6. Nice. I don't think the 3.9 is that bad. Okay, maybe. Rapid Transit Garage dropped in. Of course, a little late, as did Loki 13M. Thanks for joining, guys. But it's 15 minutes past leaving time, so I got to do that. Cool eye, man. Oh, thank you for ringing the bell, Stacks. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. The joke never gets old on the exchange rate. It never has yet. Put 100 shot on Slant. I was surprised to hear. I was surprised how long it lasted. Nice. That was AV Mopars. Nice. Mopar or I'll walk. Mal or Toyota's okay, I guess. Rad. I have an 03 Ram. I eat walls for breakfast. I have an 03 Ram. Don't read into that. I do like rich, creamy paint chips from here to there. Here and now and again, I think would be the right way to say that. I've been told Subaru Turbo works great. 01 Cummins 12-valve unicorn. Well, if it's a factory 01, 91. There you go. Okay, good. I love those truck. I really want one. Well, Mike's car hole brought the entire party, so thanks for being here. I didn't mean to click on that, but there it is. I don't know what that... Oh, Truck 6 Pinto on Competition Plus. Huh. Harley drives VW things and rides old leaking Indian motorcycles. Ah! That was a cool effect. There's so much going on. Oh, Petty Enterprises did dry sump small block. Never seen it. Yes, it's Rumble time. We did it. We did it. If you can't dodge it, ram it. Duster, supercharge. Oh, I have read about that. Yes, I've read about that. I met her in a... Wait. I met him in a swap on Dagobah. Yoda. screaming goat. I don't know what to play. We were talking about Peter Green last week. Night, Kelly Smith. Thanks for hanging out. And if you're all leaving, you probably should be. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Hudson 308 with Twin H Power, the king of early NASCAR. It sure was. Oh, good night, John. Yep, you bet. Thanks for being here. I think I've actually, no, I don't know any Ryan Upchurch. Some Beefheart. Crap. The party with lots of special things to do. It could happen to me. It could happen to you. I can't actually. Thanks, guys. Well, I love my baby. I don't actually know the words. All right, I was going to play Peter Green blues. That's all the SRV I know. I tried to learn Texas Flood once, but I don't really do 12-bar blues. My kind's a little looser and dirtier, which I think is why I like Peter Green so much. I can play 3 seconds of one Ramon song. Thanks, Matthew. I don't look for no worries. Worries and troubles come around. Don't look for no worries. Worries and troubles come around. We'll keep on turning. Gotta keep my feet on the ground. I put a spell on you. Because you're mine. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Appreciate that. I'll see you in the comment section. I'll see you here next week. And I'll drop that on the board. I got the rods hanging out of my Slant 6 blues. All right, everybody. Cool. See you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.